What's up, everybody? My name is Wulf from Wulf Gaming, and I'm here to talk about a game that's been, the lack of a better term, my addiction and my passion to play, Destiny. Yeah, no, I could feel your guys' eyes rolling on this one, but hear me out. Yes, I know the game is broken. Yes, I know all the haters love to hate on it, but that's just the white noise to me. And here's my reasons why I play the game and why I enjoy it. Roll the intro. So, Destiny. It's a game that came out just as I was about to head out to college. It was made by developers who made a sci-fi franchise that impacted my childhood and inspired me for many years. Bungie. Yes, I know they're getting a lot of flack right now for a lot of things they're doing in Destiny, namely Eververse, gameplay, and kind of going 20 steps back instead of forward. But I'm not going to add that fuel to the fire right now. I'm just going to talk about why I enjoy the game. But let me explain why I always come back to the game and why it'll always be a game by my side. Sometimes the best way to talk about the now is to talk about the past. I remember looking back at 2003 with wide eyes when I saw that Halo 2 test video, you know, the one from E3 2003 where the Chief first hijacked the Ghost and he kicked some serious butt with it. You know that one, the one that's on screen right now? That's when Bungie sold me into their games. It wasn't Marathon, and it wasn't the original Combat Evolved either. Bungie always sold me the idea that when we played their games, we're playing as a sci-fi badass, kicking some serious alien butt, and we're saving the universe while we're doing it. Destiny was no different for me. So Destiny took me above and beyond what Halo did, and it took me above and beyond what Star Wars does. And out of every sci-fi universe I followed and I really grew up with, Star Wars was everything I based my judgment of sci-fi on. Well, I mean, there's Star Wars and Tron, but those are stories for another day. Destiny was the perfect in-between that I could ask for both setting-wise and gameplay-wise. Alright, so let's talk about the first thing on that list. Setting. This is very important to me because setting is everything when it comes to a story or a universe of some sort. So the setting, it's in our universe and possibly within even our timeline. There's almost nothing different except for one thing: the Traveler. The Traveler was a catalyst that set apart the Destiny universe and giving it the sci-fi edge with just enough fantasy mixed into the element to keep it magical. And it's right in our immediate universe, in our galaxy, nonetheless. Now I hear you guys arguing, oh, if you want it in our universe and you want it sci-fi, just play Mass Effect. No, listen. So using the D&D way of scaling things, you know, where there's a high to low kind of thing, Mass Effect is a very high sci-fi, whereas Destiny is like a mid-tier sci-fi. And remember guys, I'm scaling this, not rating this, and Halo also falls under that same category of mid-tier sci-fi. Like fantasy, science fiction comes in a spectrum from low to high, where the Halos 1 through 3 is a good middle ground for sci-fi video games for me. And that criteria is, say, where mid-tier is you got your typical stuff, your spaceships, the worlds beyond Earth, and alien races. Well, alien races you made contact with either through combat or actual discussion. And of course, the minimum is it's in the future. That's why it's science fiction. Whereas high sci-fi is like Mass Effect, Star Wars, and Warframe, where there's a high amount of energy weapons, consistent space travel, a conglomeration of alien races, extended governments, things of that sort where it's like really well organized to a level, just beyond what we can do. So Destiny has a middle ground that I like and that I can be comfortable in. Oh, so we're in the Sol system, or we're right in our solar system. I can get behind that. We got the Earth, sure. We can hang around a wasteland Russia, sure. We got the moon, alright. Venus, Mars, Io, Titan, alright, cool. And in each area, there's a hint and trace of us being there. Cool. Perfect. And it's because of that I can identify with the game even better. For me, my ideal sci-fi is where human tech advanced a lot more from where we are today. And that's another reason why I love sci-fi, but again, that's a topic for another day. Bungie level design and skyboxing are always stunning and amazing. They know how to build massive set pieces, worlds even, and they know how to build arenas, combat zones, and places where you just can't help but just stop and appreciate the location. Destiny 2 did this better than the first one. Immersive locations. Now with this game, it feels like it's in the realm of possibility to a level, with just enough explanation to keep it fictional, and yet still feel real. And that's where the line sets apart between science fantasy and science fiction, where the fiction kind of tries to explain it, and the fantasy is explained through space magic. In D2, where we walked through the desolated city, we walked through the mountains, and we see the destroyed city. Those were such breathtaking moments. And in D1, visiting Vostok Peak the first time, home of the Iron Lords, the first Guardians, I really felt home in that world, that I can identify as my character walking through it, that it was me going through it, that I was part of that universe, adventuring and fighting the good fight. And then even the choices of the playable races were enough to make me feel immersed as each individual character. And me, being the RPG player that I am, I like the scout type characters, so I was the hunter, and it was a natural choice, but ugh. Golden Gun, it's been with me since 2013 beta testing back on 360. Growing up, I really loved the cowboy stories, you know, the old western style two-pistol gunslinger, or, you know, Jango Fett with his double pistol style. So the hand cannon hunter was going to be my obvious pick, and just like any RPG, I'm going to make that character my ideal character. The who would I be if I was in this, and who would I be if I played this? So of course my hunter is human. I'm human. There is a match there already. Cool. And every time I play as him, I'm so happy to be in the boots, to be holding the controller that is him. It feels like when I'm playing as him, I'm doing a sci-fi APOC post-western, which the game technically is, more or less. I leveled him up and became the gunslinging badass he is. He's the stealthy sniper, the witty quick drawer. That's me. And that's who I want to be, more or less. And Destiny gives me that opportunity. Now with Exos, so human minds transferred into robotic bodies. Naturally, that's what I felt like my Titans should be. Titans are built strong. They built the walls. Titans are durable and have endurance. At times they can be stoic, and other times determined. Fearless frontliners. That's why I love my Titan carrying the sweet business. He's the knight on the wall. He is the straight-faced robot. He is tough. But he's still like the foundation that my characters and my team can be built on. And the last of the subclasses, we've got the Warlocks, smart and mysterious. Now the only natural choice I could have with that one was an Awoken. A human who woke up from deep sleep in deep space, gifted with the Traveler's Touch, but not exactly it. Awoken feel like they'd be the closest in touch with the powers of deep space, or whatever it is that the Traveler gives, hence my Nova Warlock. Of course, I'd have to have one girl in the crew to kind of balance it out. I felt like she'd be more of a regal type character, which Warlocks really give that feel. And since they're smart and they have studied for many years, you know, they'd have the whole wizarding cloaks kind of thing. And I feel like she'd just laugh along with my guy's antics. And that's just how I imagine each of my characters kind of conglomerating and discussing with each other. The headcanon, if you will. The fanon. But together, each one of them, they're a fire team of their own. A family, if you will. All controlled by me. Pieces of me are them. The adventures they go on, the enemies they fought, the places they traveled, the adventures they have. Through them, I see it all. And I just love every second of it. So that's just the immersive reason of why I play it. As for gameplay, it's a bit of a here and there for me. The controls are simple. They're identical to Call of Duty and Borderlands. Well, at least my loadout is. But the gunplay also adds to the immersion. Where, unlike Borderlands, you got the 4-gun cycle, where, you know, up, down, left, right is each a different gun. Or Mass Effect, you got the gun circle, where you really gotta pick out what gun you're using. Destiny finds a nice middle ground for me, where the 3-gun system, it's simple enough to use, with just enough powers to worry about as well. Unlike Call of Duty, where I just keep jumping back and forth between the main two guns, spamming grenades, and the utility items, Destiny took it over by one step by adding the third gun and abilities something similar to like the PC RPG ability rule, where you got one special ability, one unique item to your subclass, and then your ultimate. Now let me explain that a little bit. D1 let me be my hand cannon wielding sniper with the heavy being whatever the situation called for, letting him be as versatile as he wants to be. The jack of trades, if you will. That's personally how I play, and that's pretty much every RPG character I play. I didn't have to worry about how many grenades I had, and me being the total ammo hog that I always am, it sucks, really. And I don't have to worry about my utility either, my melee, because I know I'm always going to have those, especially at the Infinity Knives trick. But the ability is always recharged, so I didn't really have to worry about how many grenades that I have in my inventory, just worry about how much ammo I have left in whatever my equipment is. He loves being the heavy guy, so auto rifles were a natural choice, just straight up bullet hose, and they were deemed necessary for his inventory. Oh god, that reminds me, my hunter has nothing but hand cannons in his inventory. It's a huge problem. But it fits the style of gameplay I wanted for each of my characters. Warlocks had a weird spot for them because, I had to choose either scout rifles or pulse rifles because it depends on how I wanted to immerse myself into that character. I really have to learn and adapt to those weapons, just as if a warlock would too. I find them uncomfortable, sure, but where hand cannons pack a punch versus a scout rifle's range but lack of damage, the pulse rifle was a burst versus the spray and pray of an auto rifle. But that felt like what a warlock would do anyways. So my warlock is all about magic, so with her I give her the melee punchy equipment or the infinite grenade type things, That's how I'd play it. The gunplay is so simple, it meets the gameplay industry standard, which is completely fine, by all means. It's enough to help with boss burning, and it's less timing based like a full-on MMO, like ESO. Sorry, here, let me give you this to the non-gamer terms here. So for like MMO, a massive multiplayer online game, where a raid would require you to have like 6 people really time out your attacks, because there's certain ways you have to face things. This doesn't really have as much of that. It's sure there's a lot of mechanical stuff for some bosses, but not all of them. Yeah, Destiny is ambitious in what it intended to be, and it fell short in more ways than one that I'd like to admit. And I acknowledge it, yeah, it fell short in a lot of ways. Nothing is ever perfect. Really, you just can't appeal to everyone's micromanaged tastes. But for me, it's good enough. Sure, other games do things better, but it doesn't click with me the way Destiny does. Yeah, some games have got other gimmicks, some have higher levels of sci-fi, better loot systems, but they don't give me the satisfactory adventure and immersion that I'd like. The rival games, Division and Warframe, they're way opposites on the spectrums of what I'd want in a sci-fi shooter. So to me, The Division is too close to reality for me to enjoy it. It's one of the lower end sci-fis where it's really close to our timeline, the tech is very close and very possible. It doesn't immerse me like Destiny does. The setting, alright, it's New York, cool, whatever. I've been to New York, alright, I could go there if I wanted to, really. How many times can you say, I've gone to Venus, Something like that. And since Division is almost one-to-one with New York scale, I'm not asking for a representative scale to New York in a video game. I want to explore what I don't know. The who are you in that game? You're a sleeper soldier. Alright, cool. As if I haven't seen enough Jason Bourne movies and Mission Impossibles. I mean, like, the whole soldier trope is kind of worn out for me. I kinda got that out of my system with my Call of Duty days. The game is fun, sure. It's just as grindy and looty, but it's not where I want to be. It's too grounded, if that makes any sense. It's just human fighting human. Cool. Is there any gimmick to it? I could go off on a whole rant about the Division, but I'm really not going to. When I play a boots on the ground type, soldier type game, that's where I'd like the hallway shooter, because it's more, the story is linear and then I know which way I'm going. But if it's gonna be an adventure game or like a open world type thing, then I'd like something way out of what we have. Where Destiny has the multiple different planet locations that I could continuously explore, and I could still just take in the scenery and not get tired of it. But I've done enough of the human fighting human stuff in previous Tom Clancy games and Call of Duty and Medal of Honor. Tom Clancy games are good, don't get me wrong. It's just like you're asking me if, oh, we don't serve Dr. Pepper at this establishment, so is Sprite okay? I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll take Sprite on a good day too, but they're different. Where there are different alternatives to the mainstream idea, to the mainstream dichotomy, you know, COD versus Battlefront. Yeah, they're different calibers of shooters. Warframe, Destiny's main rival, I guess you could say. It's amazing, yes, but it got really complex and really insane as the systems updated as it went along. I love it, honestly. I love it for the high sci-fi world. I mean, it's ninjas in space. How can you get any cooler than that, right? And also, it's free. That's the other big argument there. But for me, the missions just became so cookie cutter, copy and paste. I couldn't handle it. Where every planet was the same set of objectives and is just complete grinding. I don't mind the grind in video games, but I like the why of the grind. Especially if the objectives are the same on different planets. It's like, okay, kill this many guys. Alright, cool. Do the same thing on this planet in the same, almost the exact same, like, map. But I'll cover Warframe in another day, though. Overall, Destiny is just like my Star Wars. If I were to live in a fictional video game universe, even as an average Joe or an overpowered character, just like Star Wars, Destiny is just right. I can design and be who I want to be in that universe. I can believe that that's what I would do or what my character would do in that universe. Missed jumps and all. I think I've said what I've had to about why I play. The immersion really is the main focus of this. The game is immersive for me. Simple as that. I could turn off my heads-up display and still be able to play in awe and still play perfectly. I tell all my friends this, but Destiny is my World of Warcraft. It's something that I really take to heart, because Destiny is the game where I try my hardest at, and where I can feel the success after having completed something tough with my character. Either instructing a new raider for the first time, or helping someone through the Nightfall. Something simple as that is satisfactory enough for me. And then just getting the gear I worked so hard for. That's satisfying enough for me. And with that, I am out of time. And I don't have time to explain what I don't have time to talk about. So make sure you hit that like button if you enjoyed this discussive topic video, and leave a comment if you really want to talk about this some more with me. Make sure to hit that sub button, because I'm going to have more videos out just like this one. And make sure to hit that bell icon for good measure to be notified of when my next video comes out. But for now, guys, thanks for watching. This is Shadow Wolf, signing off.